Hello there, folks. You might think I'm somewhere in South Florida like Miami by the looks of it, but in fact I'm here at the Huntington in San Marino, California. The Huntington Art Museum, Library, and Botanic Gardens. Beautiful, beautiful place, and really, really amazing collection that they have here of plants from all around the world: desert, subtropical, tropical, and everything in between, temperate, anything you can name. Here they have a number of beautiful royal palms. They have some younger ones over there, and then they have two maturing examples here, and this giant mature example here, just magnificent. And I want to talk a little bit about royal palms and what makes them, just about their growing abilities, I guess, in California, because they do really well here. And royal palms are native from South Florida, there's some in the Everglades, down to through the Caribbean, I believe, into the Yucatan, in Mexico, maybe into Central America. They are, a tropical species in origin, so they're a truly tropical palm. Roystonea, not tropical. These are true tropical palms. They are obviously need warm climates. I know they grow throughout Florida. In fact, there's some pretty good sized ones up by Jacksonville, St. Augustine. There's some really nice ones. So they are, hardier than coconuts, certainly, but a bad freeze will take them out up in North Florida. Whereas here, the winters are cooler than most of, South Florida, Central Florida, but they are never really have that bad freeze here like they do in the east, just because of the geography. It's a dry climate. It's surrounded by mountains on all sides. You guys saw, but on the other side of the building, there's mountains all around, the San Gabriel Mountains, which block out that cold wind from the north, from the high desert. So that really helps to keep the winters here from getting a bad freeze. That's why you have areas that are classified as zone 11A even on the coast here, which is like Miami or even warmer, whereas the winters here and in the nights it's much cooler than Miami, much cooler, but it just never has bad freezes like Miami can have, even though Miami is obviously a lot warmer in general. But anyways, that aside, I just wanted to talk about their growing abilities in California. So they're great palms for California. Southern California, they are, there are some by the coast. I'd say I wouldn't say they're common. I wouldn't say they're like very rare. I'd say they're somewhere in between. There's, every now and then you'll see one. I was in some small town driving out between LA and Palm Springs, somewhere right in the middle near San Bernardino, some small town, and they had like 5 or 6 royal palms probably in the front yard, younger ones looking great. There are some growing in the desert, by the down by El Centro, Mexican border, some in Palm Springs, some in Phoenix even. There's a huge one, maybe this size or rivaling this size in Phoenix, that unfortunately was taken out by the bad heat. So that's the thing that really helps them do well here. A place like Phoenix, Arizona, they're a bit tender when young there. Phoenix is a colder city than LA in winter, slightly colder, and also a lot hotter in summer. It's a desert, so you have winter, maybe a few degrees colder. Sometimes it'll get into like the mid 30s. LA rarely gets into the upper 30s. Occasionally it does, but Phoenix is a bit colder. But in summer, since it's in the desert, you can have 115, 120 degree days occasionally. And those days, these are native to the tropics, so they can take some serious heat, but they're used to humidity, wet heat. They don't like dry heat. So a dry 115 degree day, 120 degree day was enough to take out a royal palm this size. Really sadly, I think last year in Phoenix, Arizona. Very sad, but it unfortunately perished. And then there was one by the state capitol, which just made it through that heat fine because it was protected under the canopy of some, it was huge, but it was under the canopy of some other giant trees. And then unfortunately, I think overpruned it and it died, sadly. But they can grow in Phoenix, but the reason they do so well by the coast is because of that coastal fog, coastal breezes, keeps, the weather here really quite cool in summer. It's one of the best weather in the world for humans, at least. Nice and cool year round. Cool, like 70 degrees, not like 50s, but 70 to 80 degrees year round pretty much, with exceptions that got to 100 recently. It's gonna get to like 90 in a few days, but it's in the 60s, upper 60s right now. Really pleasant, and that's one of the reasons that that it stays so cool in the summer. You have that coastal wind, coastal fog, prevents extreme heat spells. And of course you can have extreme heat here occasionally, but not enough to knock out a royal palm. And the winter is obviously never ever cold enough to knock them out, at least here by the coast. They're just great palms. I really, if I move out here, certainly going to plant them. They're gorgeous and incredibly tough. Now there's a couple of reasons why. I wish they were planted all over Southern California, and I think they should be. I think that streets should be lining them with them. And there's only really 2 places that I know of. I think there's obviously one, South Coast Plaza is this plaza, Orange County shopping center, Palm Society members somehow got in touch with the owners, and they started putting in like crazy palm landscaping. They have all sorts of exotic palms there. Go to South Coast Plaza. I've never been there. I really want to go. Royal palms literally lining the streets like for several blocks there. It looks like South Florida, and they're like this size. They're huge. It looks amazing. But that's like literally the only area that, and I think in one area in Arcadia maybe, or somewhere else in Orange County, they have some street plantings that are pretty recent. They don't look like they've been watered very much. That's the other thing I'm going to get to in just a second. And then there's like maybe one other place in like San Diego County and a couple other public plantings. Very few street plantings. Most of them in Southern California are private plantings, so I really wish they plant them more. Now, the water aspect. Roystonea, especially by the coast where it's a little wetter, never ever need water here. I mean, you plant one, it'll pretty much never need water. Here, I think it's pretty safe to say. I mean, they naturalize here like weeds. Royal palms are very water dependent. Now, you know, in the winter here, that's when LA gets almost all its rain. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I've never lived here in winter. Obviously, I never lived here at all. But maybe you could get away for a number of weeks without watering them. But summertime hits, you know, it's like average like 0 inches of rain in June and July, I think. That's when you really need to turn the water on. And that obviously can become a problem, especially exotic gardening with the extreme drought out here. Now, hopefully, you know, there are solutions being implemented. I don't know. I don't want to get into all that. That's a very complex subject, but like, you know, desalination plants have been installed on the coast. It's being debated out. And I think there's a lot of interesting potentials to helping California get the water it needs without, you know, completely draining the states. The worst is the aquifers. The reservoirs are man-made, and that obviously when they drain is a huge problem. I think Lake Mead is like crazy record lows, but the aquifers, which are like the underground water sources, when you drain that, like, the worst is for like the golf courses, like out in Palm Springs, in the middle of the desert. They have all these golf courses, try to keep them green. They use tons of water, and they drain the aquifers, which are natural like underground lakes, essentially underground. That's what feeds the Palm Springs that Palm Springs is named after. And now that's why you go out in the desert, California fan palm oases are dying all over. Some are healthy, some are expanding. Most are unfortunately shrinking and suffering. You can see a little bit in my videos. The two I've seen, again, are pretty healthy oases. So I was very glad to see that, but a lot of them are dying because the aquifers are shrinking, springs are drying up. It's very sad. So water is the main issue here with royal palms. By the coast, again, I mean, the amount of water needed to require them to water them. I get that it's I guess not ideal with California's you know, climate, but obviously you water these. They're already watering street plantings everywhere in LA. That's not going to affect anything. And like, you know, 90% is used for the water in California. 80-90% of something is used for agriculture, so that won't obviously affect the drought. But I get that, and that's the main reason. But they do really well here. I wish they'd plant more of them. I'd love to see them lining the streets. I mean, it would remind me of South Florida. They are really one of my favorite palms. I don't like to pick favorites. I always say that. I really don't, because I love so many palms. There's so many palms I've never even seen. But this is really one of my favorites. Up there, royal palms, just classic, gorgeous cement white trunk. That thing is incredibly tough. Hurricanes can't touch that. And then you've got this gorgeous green crown shaft. Very hard to see with my poor quality lens, but gorgeous green crown shaft. But I just want to share that with you folks because it's a pretty awesome palm, in my opinion. One of the best out there. It's absolutely gorgeous, and they do thrive in Southern California. I mean, a mature royal palm like this, there's some in San Diego, grown by palm enthusiasts, look awesome, and they're extremely fast growing here, which is another great aspect to them. Just want to share that with you folks. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And take care. Have a good one, and talk to you guys soon.